Hi, welcome to a brand new vlog. Today is Friday. It's September 27th. It's been a few days since I've vlogged and I am behind on quite a few things. I do have some plans tonight, so I won't be back until tomorrow sometime, but I wanted to start this vlog because I need some accountability. I wanted to get this draft done. I'm working on draft 5 of my debut novel, a new adult novel, and I had a self-imposed deadline. I wanted to get this done by the end of September. And right now, as it stands, it definitely will not be done by September 30th, October 1st. One of the many perks of being an indie author is that I set my own schedule, my own deadlines. So I've decided that instead of feeling stressed about the fact that I won't be able to finish this draft by the end of September and kind of rushing to get it done, I'm just gonna give myself a little bit more time. I'm just gonna push my deadline a little bit. Although I definitely could have been a little bit more disciplined, I have had a really nice couple of days. I've had a really great time. I was out of town for a few days and it was lovely. It was such a good time and I don't regret that I didn't really get any work done. I'm currently on chapter 21. I did actually remove a chapter, so currently I have 39 chapters. I think there's one more that I might also get rid of. The chapter that I got rid of, I kept kind of the important bits of that chapter and I moved them to the previous chapter. I kind of weaved them in. It took a little bit to get it right and I still feel like I need to finesse some things, but they're in there now and it feels better. And it helped with the feeling that I kind of had about the chapter originally where I felt like there wasn't enough. Like there was a thing that happened, but it didn't feel like enough to keep it as its own chapter. So I just added it to the previous chapter. So yeah, there's been a little bit of moving around of things and I feel like it's making it better and making it stronger. And I think that there is at least one more chapter that I can do that with. It's coming up and I'm definitely going to take a look at what I can do to just make it a little bit better. I'm thinking it needs to not be its own chapter. Right now it's not feeling like it's holding up. So yeah, while things have been a little bit slow on the revision front the last few days, I've also had a really great last few days and I'm really grateful. So my main goals for this weekend are to work on my novel as well as some video editing because I have some Patreon stuff to do and some YouTube videos that I need to catch up on. So that's what we're doing. Today is Sunday? It is Sunday, September 29th. Tomorrow is the last day of September. And I'm currently on chapter 22 of 39. This last part of the novel definitely needs a bit of work, so there's going to be a bit more heavy lifting as far as developmental edits go. But I have a pretty good idea of what those changes are going to be and how I'm going to change things, so it's just a matter of implementing those changes. I'm going to be leaving soon. I'm going to IKEA. I'm getting myself a little bookshelf. But before I do that, I did want to give you a few reading updates and just let you know what my spooky October TBR is. I'm not typically a TBR girly. I don't really plan out what I'm reading for the month. I just kind of go with the flow, or I use my TBR jar because I can be really indecisive when I don't have like a strong pull toward any one book. I'm very indecisive. I don't know what to read. But this spooky season, I have set myself up a little TBR and it feels manageable. It feels doable. Even though technically I have a lot to do in October, there's a lot. I have a pretty busy October. I still feel like I can get at least half of these books read because most of them are quite short. So first things first, I have finished reading Death Note. I finished reading it this morning over breakfast. This is technically my first manga that I've completed. I think I dabbled a little bit in a couple other ones, but not really, and not in many, many years. So I love this so far. Honestly, okay. As soon as Light picked up the Death Note, I knew. I don't like Light, the boy who picks up the Death Note. I feel like while his intentions might have been good at the very beginning, he is out of control. He is drunk on power, and I'm afraid for him. Part of me feels like I should be rooting for Light because he's the main character, and I can see where he's coming from. But I gotta say, I want Elle to find him. I think he needs to be stopped. I think there are 12 volumes in this manga, and I'm afraid for where this is going. It's already getting so off the rails and I love it. I'm living for it. It's so good and it's just such a fun, easy read, even though the subject matter is a little hefty. It's been a very fun, easy read and I have loved it. So I'm returning this to the library probably tomorrow and then I'll pick up volume 2 and just continue on this journey that I'm on. I'm excited. I love it. Now really quick, I'm gonna rattle through my TBR. I have 5 books here. I don't remember the last time I read 5 books in a month, but here we go. This first one is called Ghosts I Have Been by Richard Peck. This book came out in the late 70s. I'd never heard of it before. I just found it in a used bookstore and it sounded really interesting. The tagline alone is what hooked me. It says, "You've probably heard about me already. I've seen several ghosts and been one myself." What does that mean? How? What? I need to know. Then I have the Amityville Horror. I have seen the original film and the remake, I believe, with Ryan Reynolds, but not in a very, very long time. I'm hoping to get to this book this month. This is scheduled to be the last book that I read this month, so we'll see. Next is Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. This one is super short. It's going to be my first read of the month. The next one is Come Closer by Sarah Gran. Again, another short book, so I feel like I can get through these two pretty easily. That's why they're the first two that I'm going to be reading this month. And then, of course, if you know me at all, I couldn't possibly curate a spooky TBR without a Stephen King book on it. So we have Apt Pupil by Stephen King. Those are all the books on my spooky TBR. I'm really excited to get started on all those. I do need to finish. I'm currently still finishing 80s Ghosts. I'm about 80% of the way through. I haven't been doing a lot of reading the last couple days other than this, but I want to get that book done hopefully in the next day or two. I did also technically start reading Tell Me It's Right by Katie Wismer. It's definitely not the vibes of the spooky season, but it did recently come out and I've been wanting to read this book, so I think it'll be my book that I read when I need a little bit of break from the spooky things. Okay, so today is Monday. It's September 30th. It's the last day of the month. It's about 4. It's just after 4. I've spent most of the day out of the house running errands and stuff like that, and I feel good. I feel good about the errands that I ran. There were things that I had to do, and I feel good about that. And now I'm about to sit down for a 45-minute writing session. I'm basically going to spend the next couple of hours alternating between writing sprints and doing some beta reading because I am beta reading for somebody and I'm a little bit behind, so I need to make sure I do that today. I haven't done a lot of Ben work in the last couple days. I've had a really great couple of days. I went to a little festival here in Toronto called Word on the Street. It's basically just a bunch of bookstores and publishers and magazines. The Toronto Public Library was there too.
And the reason why Milton Acorn comes to my mind is because of what he believed and what he preached in terms of the poetry that he put out.
They also had a bunch of indie authors, which I was very excited about. They just kind of set up little booths and little stations, and you just go around and you can buy books and talk to them. It was honestly so cool, and I went knowing that I was going to spend a bunch of money, especially on any indie books that I saw. I bought a bunch of books from indie authors there. It was really cool to see how grateful they were and how excited they were when, you talked to them about their book and you bought one of their books. It was so good. It was really inspiring to see them there. I love when artists, indie authors, when they show up for their work, and the way that they put themselves out there, it's so amazing. It's so amazing to me. I love that. And so it definitely very much inspired me to get some work done, get moving on this draft. I was trying to get some work done last night, but then I wasn't feeling all that well, so it kind of ruined my evening plans, but I'm feeling okay today. I have a little bit of a headache, but I'm mostly feeling okay. I'm gonna push through, and yeah, we're gonna get some work done. Is killing me. I've been getting a lot of ocular headaches lately. It just hurts so bad. It's about 6:30 right now. I just made some dinner. I'm gonna eat. I think I'm gonna mostly just call it an early night. The good news is I did power through and do 2 back-to-back 45-minute writing sessions or revision sessions, and that felt really good. It was a little bit slow going at first because I was working on a chapter that I really just felt like I didn't need. It just felt like it didn't really need to be there. There wasn't enough in it. So I took the little bit that I wanted to keep, like the bit that I felt like I needed, added it to the end of the previous chapter, and just got rid of that chapter chapter completely. I think there's a couple other little lines and stuff. Like I kept a few things off to the side that I might use later and put into chapters later. And then I got halfway through the next chapter. So I'm technically currently on chapter 22, which was originally chapter 24 in draft 4. But yeah, right now I'm just in quite a bit of pain, so I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of beta reading, but honestly, I might just like get ready for bed. I do have this warm eye compress thing, like this eye mask, and it feels so good when I use it. So I might honestly do that while I am in bed. It's Wednesday, it's October 2nd. October is my favorite month. I love fall, and there's just something about October that feels so good. Unfortunately, this October hasn't started off on the best foot. Yesterday wasn't too bad. I was feeling better. I know that the last time I vlogged, I had it was an awful headache. It was awful. But I went to bed and I did wake up feeling a lot better the next day. So October 1st was great. It was a really nice day. I cleaned out my car finally. Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to clean out my car for months now. Finally did that, and then I went to the farmer's market, which is always really lovely. I didn't get to any Ben work, unfortunately, last night. It was just such a long day. It was such a long day. Today I woke up knowing it was gonna be a bit of a rough day because, in case you didn't know, I have pet rats. One of them passed about 4 months ago. I've had them for about 2.5 years. One of them passed 4 months ago. He was really ill. And recently I've noticed that my other rat, Goose, he hasn't been looking good. He hasn't been looking good at all. This is my first time owning rats, so I wasn't used to how elder rats, especially, how they behave and how they're different. So for a little bit I thought he was just kind of old, and that's why like he wasn't climbing and he wasn't really doing all that much, and he seemed kind of wobbly. But then he just seemed to be getting worse, and it didn't look like normal, just like old age behavior. It seemed like something more than that. So I took him in today, and I had a feeling, I knew that I wanted to talk to my vet about quality of life, and I know that because he's old, I had a feeling, trying to get medication or something wouldn't really, it would basically just be prolonging. So I went in thinking, okay, we're probably gonna have to put him down. I didn't think, however, that we would have to do it today. Like, I thought it was like okay, this is probably the way to go, and then we'd like make an appointment or whatever for another day. So yeah, we kind of talked about it, and we came to the decision that is the best thing to do for him and his quality of life. He was not in good shape. I really just didn't want him to keep suffering, because it really hurt my soul every time I went to see him and interact with him, and he wasn't having a good time. So we did put him down, and I've never had to put down a pet before, so this was definitely a new experience for me. When Cosmo passed, my other rat, he naturally passed at home, so while it was sad, I don't know, I mean, obviously there's something different about when a pet dies naturally and then when you have to put it down, but it was very difficult. I didn't think I was gonna cry as much as I did, because I was already kind of preparing myself for that. I knew that rats don't live very long. They live between 2 to 3 years. I already kind of knew like that was probably gonna be the best option for him. Like I had already kind of prepared myself. But oh man, it was so hard. It was so hard and so sad. So I've had a little bit of a rough day. Not the best start to my favorite month of the year, but I know that it was the right thing to do. So I do feel good about that. But yeah, I've had a little bit of a rough start to October, a little bit of a rough day. My head is pounding. I think my sinuses are really irritated right now. They're very inflamed. With that being said, I am going to try to get a little bit of Ben work done. I've kind of started this little mini habit reset thing. Today's day 4 of that, and I feel good about how much I've stuck to a lot of these habits that I kind of want to implement into my life, as well as some of the ones that I'm trying to break. And while I'm giving myself a lot of grace in this little habit reset challenge thing that I'm doing, I am trying to stick to the rule of not missing doing any one habit 2 days in a row. So since I didn't get to any Ben work yesterday, I do want to make a little bit of time for that tonight. So yeah, I just wanted to close off this vlog. I feel like I haven't been doing a great job vlogging lately. I feel like I'm not doing a really good job, but I'm gonna keep powering through, and especially with this little reset challenge, I am feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty motivated. So yeah, as far as Ben work, even though I haven't made that much progress in this vlog, I will be making a bunch of progress. I did push back when I'm gonna send it to beta readers. I've picked my beta readers, I've reached out to them, and made sure that the new timeline is still good for them, and they're all good, which I'm very happy about. So currently my new deadline when I'm gonna send it to beta readers is October 15th. I feel like that will be enough time for me to get everything done. That's what we're working toward. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your October is going so far. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know what you're writing. Let me know all the things. Thank you so much for watching. And if you got to the end of this video, comment down below, stay gold, because you are golden. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.